In this video we'll be combining FC25 career mode with some fashion advice as we look at some eye-catching kit designs for your created clubs. In this episode we'll feature 3 designs from Adidas, Umbro, Nike and Puma. Firstly, the Adidas outlined stripe design works really well with a different shade of the same colour for primary and secondary, and then a bright, tertiary and name and number. This design works equally as well with a contrasting primary and secondary. The tertiary needs to be quite bright though, as it's the colour for the outlining pinstripe. And as with all these kit designs, the name and number needs to be clearly visible on both the shirt and shorts. The second Adidas kit design is the fading from centre stripe, ideally a dark primary and a brighter secondary. Tertiary is the colour for the logo and then match with the name and number. Finally, from Adidas is the blended stripe design, ideally a bright primary, a darker but still bright secondary. Tertiary is the logo colour and then match with the name and number. Next up we have Umbro, and firstly is the distorted design, possibly my favourite kit design in this whole video. Starting off with a dark primary, a bright secondary, the logo is the tertiary colour and match with the name and number. Second from Umbro is this pattern design. The primary colour needs to be light enough to see the detail but dark enough to make the other colours stand out. Secondary is the logo colour and then the same colour for tertiary, name and number. Finally from Umbro is the half and half design. Bright contrasting colours for primary and secondary. Tertiary is the logo colour, then match with name and number. Moving on to Nike, kicking off with the quarters design, contrasting primary and secondary, even though it works just as well using different shades of the same colour. Tertiary is a logo colour and match with name and number. Next up from Nike is the low diagonal, a dark primary, a contrasting secondary, a bright tertiary because that's the diagonal stripe, and a different colour for name and number so not to clash on the reverse of the shirt. Finally from Nike is the Croatia-like check design, a light primary, a bright but darker secondary. Tertiary is a logo colour and then match with name and number. Moving on to Puma, and first up is the zigzag design, another one that works equally as well with primary and secondary as 2 shades of the same colour or completely opposite contrasting colours. Tertiary is the logo colour and then match with the name and number. Next up from Puma is the distorted design, a light primary, a bright almost neon secondary. Tertiary is the logo colour to match with name and number. And the final design from Puma is the fading hoops, a dark primary, a much lighter shade of the same colour secondary. Tertiary is a logo colour to match with name and number. So the next time you're playing a created club career mode, you can now have eye-catching home, away and alternate kits from the same brand. Thank you so much for watching this video. Please remember to tune in next time, but until then, it's FCG out.